What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Big Man on Campus podcast. Today is Saturday, December 16th, 2017. Here with you live, breaking down the college basketball card and the later games here. The morning show we do, it's tough to get to all the games we want to talk about in an hour, especially with me, my picks, Ian Cameron's picks. We get off on tangents. So wanted to come on here, try to do this every Saturday as we do. Monday, we'll get back to the show being every day with the limited cards and the going to games and stuff. I've just been a little unable to get to here every day, but I've always been putting out picks. We'll take a show today to chat about the card here on the night slate. Some interesting things happening at the 12 o'clock slate. Miami gets a cover against George Washington. Wasn't easy. They were, leading the whole game. Weren't ever down in the game. They were up 17 and a half, so had to fight off a rally, but were able to get the cover there against GW. The big news of the day, obviously, Seton Hall going down to the Rutgers. Impressive work by Rutgers. End the game on a 17-2 run. We're down 10 at half. Starting to be time to believe a little bit in this the Steve Peichel team. A really impressive win. I mean, you didn't shoot the ball well at all, only 34%, but Seton Hall struggled. I mean, they couldn't make shots. Angel Delgado couldn't get going offensively. Did have 21 rebounds, but impressive stuff. I mean, Seton Hall was brutal towards the end of the game. A huge win at home for Rutgers. Huge win, especially being in the state of New Jersey. Big time win for that program, and they do it even without shooting particularly well. Corey Freeman had a big game, or Corey Sanders had a big game. Freeman had a big game. Impressive stuff for Rutgers there. They get the job done. Also, at the earlier tips, Syracuse had to fight off a tough Georgetown team. Georgetown really had major issues defending in the second half. Give up 45 points in the second half to Syracuse en route to a 7-point victory. Syracuse players got the cover, even at 5.5 where it closed. I think a lot of people bet this at 2.5 or 3, but overtime was big. They played really well in overtime. Were able to withstand, and that's because a lot back to you're playing such a soft schedule. You're going to wear it down towards the end of games. You haven't really been in many close games, and that was evident today for Syracuse when heading into Georgetown. Georgetown just didn't have their legs late in that game, it seemed like. Butler goes down. They lose to Purdue. Purdue gets a nice cover. Memphis does cover against Louisville. They come through the back door. So if you had Louisville, tough beat there. There are some games in progress currently. Oakland hanging with Michigan State. Good game there. Iowa hammering Drake. Drake not in that game at all. Northwestern and DePaul in a tough one. And this Kentucky-Virginia Tech game might have a final big-time finish here coming up. That one's 67-66, 7.5 to go there. But we welcome in everyone out there listening. If you're out there, I don't know how many people will listen in today. I know that the show is kind of spontaneous today. Just kind of decided 20 minutes beforehand that I was going to do something here. I was going to go down to Temple today to the game, but it's Drexel. It's Saturday night, so I didn't really. Had some things to do around here, so I decided against it. And I'll just watch it on TV. But I welcome everyone in that's tuning in here. Please say hello, hit the like button, and share the show. If you're out there, retweet it. King Rail, Matt, Adam, Kyle, Pimster, Russell, DK, Sean, Devin, Trey Day, welcome in. All of you guys, welcome. Devin Rivera, I'm on Virginia Tech +6. Good. I mean, looking good so far. I'd imagine that game will come down to the wire, but we'll keep abreast of what's going on there. Another interesting note here also, how about this? East Tennessee State up 11 at Xavier as 22-point underdogs. How about that? How about that? Steve Forbes' club still has it a little bit. They're up 10 points with 4 to go, and they just might knock off Xavier, who, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated teams in the country. How they're ranked 10th, I don't know, but they're not going to be ranked 10th anymore. East Tennessee State, how about Steve Forbes and that group? They got to hold on to a lead here, but a big-time effort from them today. Jake Farmer, what's up? Ricardo Garza, welcome in. Chris Walker, Brian George, welcome in. Joel Nolasco, what's up, my man? Let's get into some matchups here and see what we're liking here. We'll start out here. I'm not going to go through every game, but I'm going to try to give an opinion as much as I can. I'll start up at the top, 545, 546. I considered Cincinnati here. I'll be real with you. I did. I think they're the better team in this matchup. But it is a big-time road game. It's a tough place to go and play. And the line's just a little too high. 2.5, I'd be on Cincinnati. At 4.5, 5, it's just too much. I think it'll be a highly contested matchup. I think this is a big-time game for Cincinnati as far as, kind of showing people that they can win games like this on the road, tough atmosphere, good basketball team. I think they're overall better than UCLA, but Welsh just played well this year. Aaron Holiday, UCLA can rebound the basketball. At 5, I think it's just too many points, so it's a stay away from me. Charleston against Rhode Island. Rhode Island gets E.C. Matthews back and Ciro Lovigny, which is big. Charleston is a team that always is going to struggle to score. That's just what they do. They're starting to get a little bit more healthy, but they're still not fully healthy, Charleston. A team in which I thought would be a really tough out, and I think they still will be in the CAA, but heading on the road to take on Rhode Island's not an easy task. You look at some of the step-up games for Charleston this year. Wichita, they got crushed. Had some trouble earlier with Western Carolina. Just haven't played many higher-end opponents. They got to go on the road and take on a Rhode Island team that's among the best as far as mid-majors in the country. I'm not really confident in Charleston right now just because I do think they have some trouble scoring, but they're starting to get healthy. Chile's still in there. Grant Riller's back, but they still need to get fully healthy before I'm looking to them. I'd look more into Charleston as the conference play starts. In this game, I definitely would move more towards the Rhode Island Rams. Oklahoma, Wichita State. This is a great game. I'm really looking forward to this game after the show here and watching this one. I think Wichita State's to play in this game. I have nothing on Stephen F. Austin. If I don't cover it, I'm skipping it. This could be, to me, the game of the day. And I got to tell you, I think people are going to get real hurt in this game as far as betting from a betting perspective. You look at the number. The number screams Oklahoma. I mean, the number's just saying to people, bet Oklahoma. They're too good a team to be getting 7.5, 7 points. But the truth of the matter is, to me, I think Oklahoma's a bit of an unproven commodity right now. You look at the teams that they've beaten. Okay, they beat Oregon, but I think we're all well aware the Ducks aren't anything special right now. Okay. You beat USC, another team that game really could have went either way. I mean, I don't think USC right now is anything special either. You give up 92 points in a losing effort to Arkansas. Your other wins are against Omaha, Ball State, Portland, North Texas, and Texas San Antonio. You're padding your stats. I'm not saying Trae Young's not a great player because he is, but Oklahoma as a whole has really padded their stats against pretty bad teams. And look, truthfully, they're pretty poor on the defensive end against a really good offensive team in Wichita State. They might have some big problems here. The concern on why I didn't make Wichita play, because they were close to me making them play. This isn't being played at Wichita's home campus. It's at another arena about 6 miles away. So for me, I just prefer the games at home. Again, I know it is a home game. They'll be very well recepted here, but I'd much rather it be in their stadium as opposed to being kind of not a neutral court, but it's not in their home stadium. So that's concerning. That's kind of the only reason I'm off this one. But I think Wichita will be the winner here, and I think they'll win by, I don't know, 8 to 12 points, something in that range, maybe like a 79-70 type of game or something like that. Oklahoma's very good in transition. That's obviously a big thing for them. They want to get out and run in transition. But yeah, I think in the half court, I think Wichita State's going to be extremely efficient. And the difference here for me really is on the defensive end. I don't know how good. Um, I don't know how good Oklahoma is. I think they're a bit of a fraud, frankly. We're going to find out today. We're going to find out today if Oklahoma is legit or not. I don't think they are. I think Trae Young's good. I think they have decent players. Kadeem Latin, Christian James, McPeace. They're all decent, but Wichita State's a real basketball team. And Landry Shamet, I think he's got something to say about Trae Young being the best player in the country also. So, um, Trae Young, it's kind of like in a similar situation he was with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield, really had to do a ton for that team. And when he didn't play well, neither did Oklahoma. Could be in a similar situation with Trae Young. Seems like when Trae Young plays well, they play well. But I wonder how good they are in the competition they faced. Now you got to go on the road and do it. Big time game. I'm going Wichita here. Let's keep it going here. Austin P. Evansville. Evansville's really going to have some trouble. I mean, their two leading scorers are out injured, particularly Ryan Taylor. I mean, without him, I think they're a team that's really going to struggle. Austin P is not a particularly good team, though. So, that's kind of a toss-up. Fullerton, Cal, I don't have any opinion. Eastern Illinois, South Alabama, another one with no opinion. Clemson, Florida is a good game. Clemson is kind of just flying under the radar, doing what they usually do. Do well in the non-conference. Conference play comes, they'll be 500, and they'll be on the bubble like every other year. And Florida is kind of in a tough spot right now. They're not playing well. They haven't played well. It's time to come out and play well. I mean, you've lost two straight. Actually, I'm sorry, you've lost 2 of 3. You beat Cincinnati, which was a nice win last Saturday. You've been off for about a week. You've been able to lick your wounds, get healthy, get back to it. I'm sure they had a hard week of practice. I look for them to come out here and play well against Clemson. Not really looking to bet against Florida in this game. Northern Iowa, Iowa State, talked about this game earlier. I like Northern Iowa in the home setting, and I like Iowa State in the home setting. And Iowa State is obviously in that setting here at Ames. I like Northern Iowa. They're a great defensive team. I wonder how Lindell Wigginton and Weiler Babb will play in the half court. Can they beat Northern Iowa on the offensive end? Can they score against that defense? Easier said than done. What's up, Normal Nation? Michigan State's losing. Good for Oakland. Oklahoma can't run with Wichita. I don't know about that. I mean, Oklahoma is very good in the transition game, but I do like the Shockers a lot. Steve Forbes ready for a Power 5 job. I don't disagree with you there. Thanks for teaching us how to break down a game. No problem, man. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get into the rest here. I talked Temple Drexel earlier on the show. I don't really think Temple's built to be laying this kind of number. At some point, though, they're going to blow someone out. You look at the tough schedule that they've had. I think they're kind of looking at this game and saying, look, I mean, we have the real ability here to blow this team out. But I think Drexel's they're a sneaky team. They're well coached. They're going to be up for this game. This is a game they're going to circle. You look at Temple going forward. I mean, after this, you're off till Friday. Maybe you're looking ahead a little bit to a little bit of a break. They've had a rigorous schedule so far. Finals are over. This is a tough game for a coach. I mean, you kind of look at it like Christmas break in a way. You kind of, neutral into Christmas break, kind of not really worried too much about anything. You got a tough stretch coming up. Conference play is going to get going. You got a big game on the horizon against Georgia in Georgia. For Fran's crew, this is a tough game to get excited for. It really is, especially off a loss, a blowout loss. You get Drexel on the slate. You get a week off coming up. How excited are you going to be for this game? It's not going to be packed down there. It's not going to be anywhere near like it was on Wednesday night. It's a tough game. It really is. It's a fascinating game, though, because you have a team in one aspect that it's going to be tough to get up for this game. You got a week coming up ahead, but this team is someone you can blow out, which you haven't had this year. Then you get Drexel coming in, who's the smaller school. They're pumped up for the game. It's fascinating. It really is. But if someone said to me, pick this or I'll blow your head off, I'd go with Drexel at plus 16. I think Temple will sleepwalk in this game. I think they'll win, surely, but how How excited can you be for this game? It's a non-conference game. It's basically the easiest game you're going to get here coming up. You get conference play. You got a trip to Georgia on the horizon. You got big home games coming up. So yeah, it's fascinating. But I'm gonna go with the Dragons if I had to play it. Seton Hall should look at themselves in the mirror after that second half performance. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, people jump way too hard on teams. Seton Hall's a good team. They'll be fine. They didn't shoot well towards the end of the game. It happens. What do you think? Yeah, listen, I will get to every game. If you've noticed, I'm going down the card here. No need to ask if I'm going to talk about a certain game. IUPUI, Washington State. IUPUI is terrible. Washington State should be able to get on track here, but really since Thanksgiving and that San Diego State win, Washington State's been a totally different basketball team. And this is kind of the issue you have with Ernie Kent. And they have had stretches where they'll look good, Washington State. Maybe they're going to compete or something. But you look at since that San Diego State win, they've lost by double digits to UC Davis, Idaho, and lost by 7 to UTEP. After UTEP fired Tim Floyd. They've lost 3 in a row. They're not playing good. It's been a total 180 over the last week and a half, 2 weeks for the Cougars here. You get IUPUI coming in now. IUPUI is really bad. It should be the time where you see a blowout victory for Washington State. But with the way they're playing right now, I wouldn't put it past them to forget about this one. Where are we going here? Yes, it will be fun to watch Oklahoma. Let's keep going here. App State, Ohio State. Ohio State's actually proving that they're pretty good. I'm a big fan of Shabazz for, I believe his name's Shabazz for App State, but Ohio State shouldn't have much trouble here. Middle Tennessee, Auburn. Talked about this game on the earlier show. Auburn's got really good front court players. Could be a nice battle between them and Nick King and Brandon Walters there for Middle Tennessee State. Good guard play for the Blue Raiders. Problem is, this is the third straight SEC opponent Middle Tennessee is going to face. They could take a three-peat here if they beat Auburn. Huge game. Going to be a fun one. This would be a good game to watch after Wichita, Oklahoma. Oregon, Fresno. Fresno will press like Portland State did. Portland State had some solid success. I don't know. Oregon's a better team, though. I'd lean Oregon. Ark State, Florida Atlantic. You look at Florida Atlantic. I backed them probably before the holiday. I think it was like the week of Thanksgiving. I remember I backed Florida Atlantic in a game. I'm trying to remember who it was against. Oh, Northern Illinois. I think they were laying 4 points in that game. Gave me a winner. I got to tell you, I've been pretty impressed by this FAU team. FAU, big win in their last game against Florida Gulf Coast University, which is a great win. Ron Delph is a fantastic player down low on the block. 7'1", big kid. One of Arkansas State's players, Tomas Bruce, might not play in this game, and he's one of their big frontcourt players. If he doesn't play, Delph might have a big game here. I like FAU. They're starting to play some really good basketball right now. I would lean with them here in this game against Arkansas State. Manhattan, Tulsa, no opinion. Georgia State, Dayton, no opinion. Eastern Michigan, Long Beach, weird game here. You get Long Beach, who I'm not in love with backing against a team making a big trip. Pass. JMU, Florida International. Lean JMU. Florida International sucks. But it's another one, long trip. Murray State, Marist. I was real close to making this game a play. But again, I'm trying to stick to one game a day. I like Murray State a whole lot here. You look at the spot for Murray State. They are off a loss. They're well rested. Haven't played in a couple weeks, about a week or so. Murray State's been great on the defensive end this year. Really impressive. 65 points a game, and that's a far cry from where they were last year. Murray State had a lot of issues on the defensive end. They've cleaned them up. Done a nice job. Maris is going to have a lot of problems in this game. Coming down to Kentucky from up in Poughkeepsie, not a ton of scoring prowess. They're 2-8 on the year. They've had major problems defensively. As far as other than UNLV, this might be my favorite game on the card. As far as laying the number, I would be looked to do that here. I think Murray State has a real solid big time winner here. I think they win, I don't know, 85-63, something like that. Okay. Thanks, Adam. We don't need a play-by-play. We'll check it out. Thanks for letting us know, though. Oakland's up 3, guys. Good. Let us know when there's about 2 minutes to go. I'm amazed at the way you break down games. You're way better than any other handicapper. You're the only capper that makes a case in every one. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's a lot of that's very nice of you. Yeah, I just try to be informative on why I'm making the play and why I'm not. Oakland's a team to watch, fun to watch. They are, but they're not. I mean, I think it's hard to back them right now just because they are so bad on defense. They'll blow that game against Michigan State. They did it last year. They will this year. They're kind of in my naughty corner, Oakland. They haven't played well against any big time team, but hey, if they can get a win today, Greg Campy can be proud of that win. No problem, Russell. Thanks. So yeah, Murray State's definitely one that I like. Surely, Ohio Marshall. Nothing really on that one. Tennessee Martin, Mississippi State. I'm a big Mississippi State fan. Love the Witherspoon brothers. A lot of points delay, though. Pass. Rice, Texas Tech. I mean, is Texas Tech really worthy of laying 28 points? I mean, I know they're really good on defense and everything. And, look, Rice is poor. I mean, they're not going to come in here and win this game or anything. But, is Rice really a team that's going to lose by 30? You look at against step-up competition, lost by 17 to Mississippi, lost by 20 to Texas Arlington. I guess you really have to decide to yourself, do you want to lay 28 points with Texas Tech? I will say this, Rice will probably struggle to score 55 points in this game. Question you have to ask yourself is, I mean, can you see a 90-60 win? You look at some of the wins this year for Texas Tech. Beat South Alabama by 25. Beat Maine by 39, but Maine is not even close to Rice. Beat Northwestern by 36. So, I mean, they have blowout potential, surely. It's just, do you feel comfortable laying 28 and then I'm going to win by 30 here? That's the big question. Rice is this is an in-state matchup. Maybe you give that and lend that to something, but it's not a game I'm really looking at. BMOC, can you tell me what your routine is coming up with picks, looking for help in improving my own game? Well, I mean, I would recommend probably kind of finding teams that you like and kind of riding them out. I seem to do that in a lot of things. This year, I really like UNLV a lot. There's certain teams that I've kind of keyed in on that I like, but I don't know. You go through a lot of games. For me, it's easy just because I do know something about most of the teams, so I can kind of see what their strengths are and how that will affect them in their game. I don't know. I mean, how to do that, though? I mean, just watching games, getting to know teams, understanding the kind of team they are and the opponent they're facing. I look at rebounding and free throw percentage and, I like dogs, that kind of stuff, I don't know. It's as far as a routine though, is I don't really have one. I just I try to find, the games that I'm looking for, write them down. Then I kind of narrow it down from there. But a lot of the games that I'm picking are the same teams every week and every day. Do you believe Illinois will be a good team going forward? Well, they need LeRon Black back. That's kind of the big thing. Will they be a good team? Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Big Ten's not particularly strong this year, but they seem like one of those teams that will struggle to win close games. And you look at already this year, they've had a lot of issues with that. I mean, you look at the close games they've had. They lost to Wake, lost to Northwestern, lost to Maryland, lost to UNLV. It seems like they're one of those teams just not good enough to get up and over the hump. And as the season goes on, those games are really going to hurt you. And you look at this stretch coming up for Illinois, difficult. You got New Mexico State today, which is a very tough team out of the WAC. You got Missouri in Missouri. You get Grand Canyon coming in. You get Minnesota, Michigan, Iowa, and then you're getting into you really don't have an easy game left. I mean, this whole season going forward, you don't have a tough game left. And that's the trouble that you have with Illinois. All those close games that you lost are going to come back to haunt you, because when the tournament comes around, they're going to look at those neutral games and say, did you win? No, you didn't. Okay, well, how'd you do when you're out of conference? Well, you beat Longwood. Who cares? You beat Austin Peay, but you only beat them by 7. Who cares? You beat Marshall. DePaul, that's a solid win. You beat Augustana. I mean, who cares? This is tough. They're going to have to get some good out-of-conference wins coming up. 3 games coming up will go a long way for Illinois. Tonight, on next Saturday, and then New Year's Eve. That's 3 big games for Illinois coming up. There's not many handicappers left like you. You've been in the loop a while, and you have great insight. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I appreciate you saying those things. Thank you. Thanks, David. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Let's keep it going. Kansas, Nebraska. Good a game here. I'm not a big Tim Miles fan, but he does seem to have one of those big time wins every year in his back pocket. The problem is they're not going to do it today against Kansas, and Nebraska seemingly had that win already. They beat Minnesota a couple weeks ago in Omaha or wherever they play, Lincoln. Hung around against Creighton, but they were, seemingly couldn't score enough. That's their problem. They struggle to score. I mean, you look at that game against Michigan State, 57 points, only put up 65 against Creighton. I mean, Kansas can really get going, and when Kansas gets going, it's like a landslide. And the concern you have with Kansas is they're off 2 losses. They're going to come out here like fucking wildfire. They're not going to take it lightly. I'm sure they had a long week of practice. They've been off 6 days now. I'm not looking. I wouldn't step in front of Kansas tonight. I think they crush Nebraska. I have no real opinion on that game. Northern Iowa, it's a tough game. UC Irvine, St. Mary's. St. Mary's has been pretty lackluster this year so far. I thought they were a really good side out of the West Coast Conference. Thought they'd beat Gonzaga finally, but I got to tell you, I don't see it. Not looking to lay big points with them. Southeast Missouri, Kansas State, no opinion. Gonzaga, North Dakota. Again, this is an interesting one. Gonzaga surely could win by 40 here, but I mean, North Dakota can score the ball. Quentin Hooker's a good player, good guard. Can he score in Gonzaga? He's going to have to put up a big effort in this game. I don't know. This isn't the typical Gonzaga teams, though. Their guard play is good, not great. Good bigs, which their bigs are going to have a big game against North Dakota. I'd look maybe at a Gonzaga team total over here. North Dakota is bad, and if you really don't want to lay 30 points, which I don't blame you if you don't, I think Gonzaga will push 100 in this game, just because I mean they're going to have a field day down low, and I mean their guards are better than North Dakota's are. The team total's not out. Not even sure if they will put it out, but that would be the way I'd look here. They should be able to score a ton of points in this game. Kansas is 11, I believe. Yeah, 11. You can get 11 at Bookmaker and at BetOnline. Kansas minus 11. Arizona, New Mexico. Interesting game. New Mexico's okay, I guess. I mean, their best player just left the team. I guess okay is a little strong. They're average to below average. Arizona's kind of getting it going, but laying a lot of points on the road here. Troy, Arkansas. Varnardo's out, so I don't have any interest on Troy. New Mexico State, Illinois, we just talked about. New Mexico State's a very good mid-major. Do have some injury concerns right now, so I'm kind of concerned with that. Illinois getting people healthy again. North Florida, Missouri. I actually like North Florida. If I had to play this one, I'd take the 23.5. North Florida is a good team out of the Atlantic Sun. Garrett Sam's a great player. Missouri, obviously, without Michael Porter, but they got to move on. It's which they have. It's time to move on and recognize he's not coming back. Now you got to play basketball because you're still a pretty damn good basketball team. And North Florida, though, I mean, they've played some tough teams. Question is, how bad does Missouri want to cover this game? Beat Miami of Ohio by 19 last time out, which I got to be honest, I think that's kind of how this game's going to go. I think it'll be right around that 20-point mark. 23.5 might be a little too many. North Florida can score. Yeah, Kyle, I'm not sure if you don't listen. I just said I'm going to go through every game. I'm going through every game to everyone out there. I will get to every game. Garrett Sams. Garrett Sams. Sams, not sand. Sams. Princeton, Cal Poly. Joe Calera runs an interesting defense at Cal Poly, but Princeton should be able to decipher it. I'd imagine they'd be the play there. UNLV Pacific, obviously UNLV is my play of the day. Broke it down ad nauseum on the early show. Just don't really see how Pacific stays in this game. They have no answer for McCoy and Houston. It's really going to be about, can they play good enough zone to prevent them from getting the ball? The problem that Pacific's going to have is, even if they force jump shots, McCoy and Houston should have a field day with offensive rebounds. So you're really, if you're David Stoudemire, had a tough go of it here. Not really sure why this line's only 8, 7.5, 8.5. It doesn't make sense to me. I think this is a big-time win for UNLV. And again, if you go on my YouTube page, you can find my breakdown and play of the day video on this one. St. Louis, Oregon State. Oregon State is kind of a hard luck loser. I think they're better than maybe their ATS stuff has warranted. I've actually bet against them several times this year and have had success. Had Jacksonville State on Monday against Oregon State. Bet against them with Long Beach earlier in the year in that first game. They're just not against like decent teams. They're not really worthy to lay big points to. But St. Louis is off that big time win at Murray State, and you would think this would be a tough go of it here. I think Oregon State's probably the play in this game. I think this is finally where they get a pretty big time win. I mean, it's okay when you're beating, Oregon State. They were able to beat, bad teams, but St. Louis is an okay team, I guess you could say. It's a tough travel spot, though. You got to go all the way out to Corvallis. You're off a big time win. Wind might be out of the sails a little bit. I would go with Oregon State here if I had to. Who's the deepest team in the country? I don't know. Probably, I don't know. When Billy Garrett comes back, probably Kansas. Kansas is pretty deep. Got a lot of great players. Duke. I mean, a lot of the big time teams. Yeah, I would say Kansas probably. I think they have just a ton of talent there. I'm probably missing teams though. I'd have to kind of break that down and look at the rosters. North Texas, San Diego. San Diego playing well. Are you ready to lay double digits with them though? Pretty much. Lamont Smith's a good coach. Just don't feel comfortable about laying 10 or 9 or 10 with the Toreros. Utah, BYU, in-state matchup here. Interesting game. I like Utah. I don't like BYU, especially without Nick Emery, who is still out, and I don't know that we'll come back. Gun to my head, Utah might look like a good play here. Late night, +3. Utah might be worth it. Marriott Center's tough to go play there, but I like Utah. Sorry. Villanova's deep. Yeah, Villanova's deep, sure. Not now though. Colin Gillespie's out, so right now I don't think they're as good as deep as people think. But yeah, I mean they're deep as well. I'd have to look. I'd have to look at all the rosters and comment on that. But there you go. I mean that's it for all the games, guys. As far as I definitely like Wichita, like Murray State. By the way, Kentucky wins by 7. So if you had the 6, sorry, you lose. Tough beat there. Um, what else do we have going on here? Michigan State. Let's see what they're up to. They're up 2 with about 9 to go, which I might be wrong on times here. I'm looking at SBR odds. Where else are we going here? Northwestern in a dogfight with DePaul. How about that? Florida State has just beaten Oklahoma State by 1. Nice win there. And Notre Dame up 4 with 12 to go against Indiana. So, yeah, I'll go Murray State. Obviously, I'm on UNLV as my play of the day. I do like Wichita as well coming up here at the top of the hour. Actually, just started. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. We've been on for about 30 minutes. Wichita's going to get going here. Everyone have a great day. I'll try to get back on tomorrow here at some point. We got a lot going on. I got Eagles tomorrow. I got to do the betcast at 4, so probably won't have a show tomorrow. But obviously, as always, we'll put out the play of the day and hopefully hit it tonight with UNLV. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Appreciate you tuning in today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.